So obviously you do love your cars.
Yeah.
And now, of course, you race. You are keen motor
Occasionally,
racing.
yeah. Historic racing.
Okey-dokey. There we go.
You have such a huge fan base here in Australia, obviously because of Mr.BEAN and Blackadder and John English. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. You better ask those who like what I do. I don't know. These shows and these films have been successful. I think it's because tonally they're quite rare in this day and age. You know, a family comedy is a relatively rare thing in this day and age because most comedy movies these days are quite grown up, are quite adult, quite rude. And there aren't many films that families can truly go to and know that no one's going to be offended by the content, and yet have a genuinely good laugh. And I think a John English movie is good for that.
V.
I've just been to see the press screening. There's one line that I remembered because they used to say, "Please don't let me die at the hands of the Swiss."
Yes.
Elaborate, please.
I've been trying to think about this. I didn't think about it until the first interview this morning when someone said, you know, what's your problem with the Swiss? And I suddenly thought, well, actually, I don't have a problem with the Swiss, and yet there is something about that line that strikes us as quite funny. I suppose the perspective from a British person's point of view is that the Swiss are not very well defined as a race because you are quite discreet and quite low-key and keep yourselves to yourselves. You're a small country, a neutral country in the middle of Europe. You know, you don't have as clear an identity as a French person or a German person, and therefore, you know, if you're going to die at the hands of somebody, you'd quite like them to be well defined, quite sort of famous for being something. You know, poking fun at races, I suppose, is more difficult than it used to be, but no less enjoyable than it used to be. That's the trouble. But you've got to be careful, that's all. You know, you've got to try not to offend too much.
Du musst hart trainieren.
Mr.BEAN gone crime-fighting machine, Johnny English.
English.
Don't worry. You can count on me.
It's sort of a love story.
It is a bit, yes. I think he's a more sympathetic character than he was in the first movie.
Well, I loved the addition of Tucker.
Good. I'm glad you liked him,
Yes.
because I think he's great. He's just such a fantastic actor, and we had such a good relationship. You know, he's so simpatico. You know, he was such a good sidekick, and it's very difficult to play sidekick. You know, because you have to. You know, I'm supposed to be his boss, so you know I can be rude to him, but he can't be rude to me, and yet he's got to accommodate me. And we're in the middle of a life or death mission, so he's got to make it work, and he did it really well. And my only regret is that we didn't do more together, actually.
When you come to LA, what is something that you look forward to, or America in general?
I haven't been here for so long. It's very strange. I'm that relatively rare person who makes his movies outside the US and outside Hollywood. And when we shot the first Mr.BEAN movie here in 1996, I lived here for 3 months. And it was fantastic, actually, just living a normal family life when you've got a job, you know, and you go to the studio every morning at 6 o'clock and you come back at 5. You know, you could park easily and life is simple.